Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to analyze reading passage number 1 from test 1 of IELTS Cambridge number 15, the academic one. Now we have the passage here. The instructions say that we have 20 minutes to read and answer 13 questions based on this passage. Basically, there are 7 paragraphs and 13 questions based on those paragraphs. So let's get into it. So, as you already know, we don't read the entire passage to be able to answer the questions. What you need to do is to first read the questions, find the keywords, and come back to passage. How do we do that? We have already discussed that in our primary videos. That is the video titled Detailed Questions, Negative Factual Questions, Inference Questions, and Purpose Questions. So if you have not watched those, please pause, go back, watch them, and come back, because I will not be repeating the skills that I have explained in those videos here. Now, for questions number 1 to 4, instructions say complete the notes below. Choose one word only from the passage for each answer. So basically, what we need to do is to fill in these blanks based on the reading passage with only one word. So how do we do that? Let's go with number 1, with the first part. Now, the first part says, the leaves of the tree are in shape. So what kind of shape do they have? We need to find that from the passage. We already discussed this in our primary videos, that we need to find keywords from the questions. And we said that the keywords are those important words that are unique to the question. For example, the is not a keyword. Are is not a keyword. They are general. We need for something specific that is specific to the question. Leaves, tree, and shape are the keywords that you should be looking for. So let's go to the passage and let's see where they are located. Now, because this is an educational video, I'm just gonna give you the answers, explain the answers, analyze them. So I'm not gonna let you search for them. Look, so the answer to question number 1 is actually in paragraph number 1. So here we have leaves, our keyword. We have tree, again, keyword. Another hint is here, foliage. Foliage means a group of leaves. So we found the 3 keywords in this sentence. Let's read and see what it gives us. The tree is thickly branched with dense foliage of tough, dark green, oval leaves. And here we have it. We have the shape, oval. So the shape is oval. We go back to the question. So here we should write oval. Question number 2. The surrounds the fruit and breaks open when the fruit is ripe. Let's find the keywords. Well, for me, when I look at this sentence, surrounds is the keyword, fruit is a keyword, breaks open could be a keyword, and ripe. So let's search for them. And again, I'm going to give you the answer. It's in paragraph 1, this sentence. We have fruit and we have encased. Encased is a synonym for surrounded. And we have talked about this in our primary videos, that when we are looking for the keywords in the passage, it's not just those words that we are looking for, we are also looking for their synonyms. So instead of surrounded, we go with encased. And another keyword comes from here, ripe. When the fruit is ripe, So the answer is fleshy husk, but because we only have one word to write, we're going to have to go with husk alone, because fleshy is just an adjective. So number 2 here is husk. Question number 3. The is used to produce the spice nutmeg. Nutmeg is a kind of nut, but we don't care. You don't really have to know what kind of nut it is. You don't even have to know that it's a nut. Just put an X instead of this word in your mind. You'll be fine. You don't have to understand every word to be able to answer the questions. Your job is answering the questions, not really learning the passage. This is not a university or high school exam. So what are the keywords? The keyword is produce and spice nutmeg. Let's go to the passage. So at the end of paragraph 1, we have spice nutmeg and we have produce. So these are our basically keywords. So the sentence is this. These are the sources of the 2 spices nutmeg and mace, the former being produced from the dried seed and the latter from the aril. What is aril? We don't care. Put a instead of it. So the former means this. The former refers to nutmeg, and the latter refers to mace. But here we are looking for nutmeg, right? The question asks specifically for spiced nutmeg, which means this section. The former, that is the spiced nutmeg, being produced from what? Dried seed. So spiced nutmeg is produced from dried seed, but since we need to use only one word, we cannot use the word dried. We need to go with seed. So the answer is seed. Come here, write seed. Number 4. The covering known as the aril is used to produce Keywords. Aril, keyword, produce. Well, this is an easy one because we were just discussing it. We have the word aril here, and we have produced here. We just read this. So the former was about nutmeg. And then it says the latter, which means this mace, is made from the aril. So basically, aril is used to produce what? Mace. So our answer is mace. Just to repeat, when you have two items, the former relates to the first one, and the latter relates to the second, that is the last one. So here we say the latter, so the last one was mace. All right, perfect. We answered 4 questions. Let's go to 5 to 7. 5 to 7 is different. We have 3 sentences. We're going to read them and decide whether they are true, false, or not given, which means that it's not mentioned in the passage. So, number 5. In the Middle Ages, most Europeans knew where nutmeg was grown. What are the keywords? The keywords are Middle Ages, Europeans, where, that means the location, nutmeg, and grown. We will be looking for these words. Let's go to the passage. So if we take a look at the second paragraph, we have nutmeg, European, Middle Ages, this period, which refers to Middle Ages, exact location, and we have all we need. So let's read the first sentence. Well, it doesn't give us anything, basically, if you read it carefully. What is important to us is here. Throughout this period, which means in the Middle Ages, the Arabs were the exclusive importers of the spices to Europe. They sold nutmeg for high prices to merchants based in Venice. So Arabs were the importers. So just to repeat, Arabs were the importers of spice to Europe. They sold nutmegs to Europeans, but, and here is the important part, they never revealed the exact location of the source of this extremely valuable commodity. This extremely valuable commodity means basically nutmeg. So we are simplifying the sentence in our mind to be able to answer the question. They, it means Arabs, never revealed the exact location of the source of nutmeg. So, conclusion, they gave nutmegs to Europeans, but they never told them about the location. They kept it secret. Let's go back to the question. The question says, in the Middle Ages, most Europeans knew where nutmeg was grown. So clearly it's wrong because Arabs were not telling them. Question number 6. The VOC was the world's first major trading company. The keywords are VOC, and here is actually a key phrase, world's first major trading company. Let's go to the passage. And here we have it in paragraph 4. VOC, Trading Corporation, World. Now, let's read the sentence. It says, in 1602, Dutch merchants founded the VOC, a trading corporation better known as the Dutch East India Company. So, this question doesn't tell us that VOC was the world's first major trading company. It says that it's a major trading company, but not that it's the first one. Let's go to the second sentence. By 1617, the VOC was the richest commercial operation in the world. So you see, it says the richest commercial operation. It doesn't say the first. So whether it was the first, the second, the thousandth, the hundredth, We don't know because the passage does not tell us anything. But be careful, it's not wrong. We can't say that it's wrong. It could well be the first major trading company. It's just that the passage does not point it out. The passage is talking about its riches. It says that it's the richest commercial operation in the world. So, not given. Question number 7. Following the Treaty of Breda, the Dutch had control of all the islands where nutmeg grew. What are the keywords? Treaty of Breda, Dutch, control, islands, and nutmeg and grew. So we are looking for these keywords. And the answer is in paragraph 5. Look, we have Treaty of Breda. We have securing their hold over every nutmeg producing island. So clearly the answer is here. Let's read these two sentences. After decades of fighting for control of this tiny island, the Dutch and British, so basically the Dutch and British were fighting over this island, arrived at a compromise settlement, the Treaty of Breda. That's the name. Fine. Who has the control? Let's find out. Intent on securing their hold over every nutmeg producing island, the Dutch offered a trade. So basically the Dutch wanted to take control of the entire island, right? So they offered a trade. What is the trade? We really don't care. We don't care about the details. They just offered a trade. You read it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't read it, but we don't care about the details. What is the outcome? The outcome is this. The British agreed, which means the Dutch got the control by having the British agree to their offer. And the last sentence says the Dutch now had the monopoly over the nutmeg trade, which would last for another century. Well, monopoly means control, right? So we have it. Yes, the Dutch took control of the islands that produced nutmeg. So 7 is true. So 5 false, 6 not given, and 7 true. Let's go to questions 8 to 13. Complete the table below. Choose one word only from the passage for each answer. Again, the same rule, only one word. And as you know, you will write your answers in boxes 8 to 13 on your answer sheet. So, assuming that you're taking the paper version of the test, write the answers here, then transfer them to the answer sheet at the end. In question number 8, we have a category in this table, and the sentence is within Middle Ages category. So this middle age could be a keyword, a key phrase for that matter. The sentence is this: nutmeg was brought to Europe by the da-da-da-da-da. So what are the keywords? Nutmeg, brought, and Europe. We're going to go to the passage and search for these keywords. This is actually an easy question because we already answered a similar question from the same exact place. Look, here is the answer. Paragraph 2, we have Middle Ages, we have European, and we have importers. Importers means people who bring, which is a synonym for this word, was brought. So the passage is basically this. Throughout this period, that is Middle Ages, the Arabs were the exclusive importers of the spice to Europe. And here we have it. So the Arabs were bringing the spices to Europe. And we have the answer. The answer goes here, by the Arabs. Number 9. Demand for nutmeg grew as it was believed to be effective against the disease known as whatever the name of that disease is. What are the keywords? Well, for one thing, 17th century. Then we have this important phrase, demand for nutmeg grew. So this is important. Believed effective against disease. We are looking for these keywords. Look, I have told this in my primary videos. Don't act mechanical. Like, go with the meanings. Don't just look at those words. What is the sentence telling you? The sentence is telling that nutmegs were believed to cure a disease. That's why the demand for them was soaring, was increasing. But there was this specific disease that people thought that can be cured by nutmeg. We are looking for the name of that disease. Let's go to the passage. And the answer is in paragraph 4. So here it says everybody wanted nutmeg. We have the word cure, which could be a synonym in terms of meaning to effective against disease. So let's read these sentences. Doctors were desperate for a way to stop the spread of this disease. What is this disease? We don't know, and the sentence is not telling us, so we're going to go back one more sentence. This sentence. At the same time, thousands of people across Europe were dying of the plague. And here we have it, the name of the disease. Thousands of people were dying because of plague, a contagious and deadly disease. Contagious is an adjective. It means something that spreads very rapidly. So we found the name of the disease, plague. Let's go to the following sentence and see what's what. Doctors were desperate for a way to stop the spread of this disease, that is plague, and they decided nutmeg held the cure. They thought that nutmeg was going to cure this plague. So everybody wanted nutmeg. And we have the answer. We don't need to go forward. So for questions 10 and 11, we have this Dutch here, and the rest are related to the Dutch. So we have these two sentences. They are not within the question. I'm skipping, but please read them. They can help. So I'm going directly to number 10. The Dutch put something, we don't know what that something is, on nutmeg to avoid it being cultivated outside the islands. So basically, they didn't want people outside their islands to be able to plant, to be able to cultivate these nutmegs, to produce these nutmegs. So they put something, I don't know, maybe like a cover on these nutmegs, so that other people cannot use them to start producing nutmeg. So that's the meaning. What are the keywords? Put on nutmeg, avoid outside islands. Let's go to the passage. And here is the answer in paragraph 5. So the keywords are these: covered, no chance a fertile seed which could be grown elsewhere would leave the island. So basically what we just said, they didn't want others to be able to grow nutmegs. We understand this from fertile seed, grow elsewhere, an island. So what did they do? All exported nutmegs was covered with lime to make sure there was no chance a fertile seed which could be grown elsewhere would leave the islands. So the answer is lime. Basically, they were putting lime on the nutmegs and they were using it as a cover. Question 11. The Dutch finally obtained the island of we don't know what from the British. So basically, there is an island that British apparently had control of, and then the Dutch could take over. What are the keywords? The Dutch obtained island, British, and of course 17th century. Don't forget this. We are still under this category. Again, the answer is somewhere close to the answer of the previous question. So basically, we have Dutch domination, we have island, we have a land here, we have British. So basically, we have the keywords. Let's read the sentences. There was only one obstacle to Dutch domination, which means that the Dutch was going to dominate everything. There was only one problem. Let's see what that problem was. One of the Banda Islands, if I'm pronouncing Banda correctly, a sliver of the land called Run. A sliver means a narrow or small part. So this Banda Island was a small part of a land that was called Run, only 3 kilometers long by less than 1 kilometer wide, was under the control of the British. So again, we have it. So basically, this part, this land that was a small part of a land called Run, was under the control of the Britain. And apparently, the Dutch are going to take control of it. And then we go back to the passage which we read like in the previous questions. After decades of fighting for control over this land, the Dutch and Britain arrived at a compromise settlement, the Treaty of Breda. So as you remember, the Dutch were intent on securing their hold over every nutmeg producing island. So they offered a trade. British, what was the trade? That the British would give them the island of Run. So basically, they wanted the British to give them what? This island. What is the name of that island? Island of Run. Did they do that? Did the British do that? Well, apparently they did. Here we have it. The British agreed. And then we have the final sentence. The Dutch now had the monopoly over the nutmeg trade, which would last for another century. And we have our answer. we were looking for the name of that island, and here we have it, Run. The island of Run. Run comes here. So questions 12 and 13. Now pay attention, we move to the next category, late 18th century. So this is also a key phrase. Let's go to number 12, 1770. The nutmeg plants were secretly taken to, we don't know where. So what are the keywords? The key phrase, late 18th century, 1770. Well, this makes it easy. Nutmeg plants secretly taken. Let's go to the passage. Paragraph number 6, 1770. Smuggled, which means taken secretly. Nutmeg plants. Perfect. Let's read it. Then, in 1770, a Frenchman named P.P. By the way, when you are reading, you don't necessarily need to struggle to read those names. We don't care. Read the initials and move on. Successfully smuggled nutmeg plants to safety in Mauritius, an island off the coast of Africa. So where were the nutmeg plants taken? To Mauritius, which is the name of an island off the coast of Africa. So one word, Mauritius. And we have one question left. Question number 13. 1778, half the Banda Islands nutmeg plantations were destroyed by a something. So there was something that destroyed half of those plantations. What are the keywords? A very helpful one, 1778. Numbers always help greatly because it's easy to find them. We have half, we have Banda Islands, nutmeg plantations destroyed. We have lots of keywords. This is an easy question to find. And the answer is right after the answer to the previous question. Here we have it, 1778, half the nutmeg groves. So something is here that has destroyed those plantations. Let's read the sentence. In 1778, a volcanic eruption in the Banda region caused a tsunami that wiped out, it means destroyed, half the nutmeg groves. Perfect, we have the answer, tsunami. And the answer goes here. Fellows, this is how we wrestle with the question. We need to fight with the passage to find the answers. Here, I was basically pointing to exact locations where the answers lied. It's gonna take time for you to find the answers, and it takes time for me to find the answers. Well, in this video, I'm just showing you where they are. So in the beginning, it's gonna take time, but after some time and practice, you'll be able to get the answers, fetch the answers faster than before, and that speed is going to grow gradually. The more practice you do, the faster you will be, but you will get to a level in which you will be able to find the answers confidently. I am confident in finding the answers, and the reason is that I have had lots of practice, and you should be doing the same to duplicate the result. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful, and see you soon.